Good morning. Good morning, everybody. We're so glad that you are here. And as you might see, we have Spanish interpretation today, or English interpretation if Spanish is your primary language. And what you're going to want to do is at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you are going to find a little interpretation button, and you're going to want to select your primary language. We'll put this in the chat as well. And that way you'll be hearing this in the language that is your primary language, either English or Spanish. So we just invite you right now to go and select your primary language. Welcome, welcome. We'll give just one more minute for people to come in. It's so great to see you all. You will notice as you come in that you're muted, and for the flow of the event, we ask that people remain muted just so that we can be fully present in the prayers and the material and the music that we have today. We're so grateful that you are at the CSL Peace Day Prayer-a-thon, kicking off really a weekend of different offerings that CSL has put together to honor International Day of Peace. And so we also invite you to use the chat if you'd like to interact. So although we're asking people remain muted, please use the chat to interact. And we would absolutely love to hear where you're from. So please share that into the chat so that we can welcome you. All right, dear ones. We are going to begin just momentarily. We're having some more people come in. We're so glad to see you. So hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca Hiraoka, and I'm so glad to be with you. I'm the Director of Global Services, and World Ministry of Prayer is within that Global Services network and department. And it's just such an honor to bring another prayer-a-thon to you with the wonderful Blanca Mejia, who is my extraordinary colleague and is an amazing leader, and Dr. Sunny Cantrell-Smith, our spiritual leader, and Reverend Michelle Ariano, our executive director. We are just we're grateful to be able to gather in this space. This is a time where, I think every time is a time where we need and we want prayer, because prayer is really lifeblood. It's that communion with spirit. It's that communion with ourselves, with each other. It's that, to me, it's the ultimate expression of oneness. And it means many things. Prayer can be active, prayer can be internal, it can be silent. And we're gathering today, and we're really going to be looking at peace, and we're going to be praying for peace. And the flow of this day, we're going to have information about different attributes of peace, like what peace means to us. We're going to have people share on that. We're going to have slides. We're going to move into prayer. We have extraordinary panelists here today sharing information, praying, sharing music. And we're just so incredibly grateful for all of them. And so we welcome you, and it should be a lovely time. It runs from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain. We invite you to stay for the whole time, but if you can't, stay for what you can, dip in, dip out. This is being recorded and will be up on CSL's social media's YouTube channel. We know that a lot of people are working right now, but want to watch it later. So we absolutely welcome you. And we are so very grateful that you are here with us. And I am now going to pass my word to our amazing spiritual leader, Dr. Sunny, to open us in prayer.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Take a nice deep breath, and I invite us all to do the same. And I am going to drop into that place with closed eyes. So I invite you to move into whatever position feels good in this moment, right in this moment. As we take that collective breath together, knowing that as all of us breathe, that it is simply the beloved breathing the beloved. And dropping into that space, that place where I know that there is only one, there is only one mind, only one. And I recognize this one as the presence of the divine, the one infinite intelligence that flows through all of life. This loving presence that is creating out of itself every minute, every second of every day, never ever diminished by its creation. I know this loving presence as the source of peace, of harmony, of oneness and unity, manifesting in every aspect of creation. I know this infinite essence of goodness is present in every heart, in every soul, in every mind that is fully present here this day. And those who could not be with us this day, but maybe listening later, know that you are absolutely the divine. And right where we are, God is. I know that I am the I am. You can silently say that to yourself. I am the I am. And what that means is I am one as this divine presence, connected to all of life, all beings, all of life everywhere. And as I am one as this divine presence, so too each and every person, every nation, and every living thing on this planet is that which Spirit is. We are interconnected in this field of love and peace. And so it is from that interconnectedness, from that field of peace, from that field of love, that I speak this word in this moment. And I declare that global peace is unfolding right here and right now because we are here together as the presence of the one. That we can hold in the infinite mind as our mind now, that this global transformation of peace is unfolding right here and right now, without delay, without impediment, right here. Harmony fills the life of all people as the very life that God is. And I know that this understanding of peace that is unfolding right here and right now bridges every divide that may appear. I see a world right here and right now where compassion, cooperation, and love guides not only all of our leaders, but guides every action and decision in every nation. Peace is not only possible, it is the natural state of our interconnectedness, our interconnected world. And I know and affirm and stand in the power of now, right now. As I breathe, take a nice deep breath and release that breath. I know that my love that I hold inside is expressing outside and is transferable into the peace that we all seek, for peace is seeking each one of us. And for this, I give great thanks. I give great thanks to know that the manifestation of peace is happening right here, right now on our beloved earth. I am deeply grateful for the loving presence that unites us all and for the realization of global harmony that we all hold near and dear. I know that this peace that I speak of is already unfolding, and I celebrate this perfect expression in every corner of the world. Oh, so grateful. Oh, so grateful to stand in the power of peace. And it is through that gratitude that I simply release this prayer into the law, knowing that the law always says yes. It always says yes. It says yes. I let go and trust the infinite wisdom of the universe to bring this vision of global peace into expression now. And as the law always says yes, I lovingly stand in the power of yes, the place I call grace, as we all say together. And so it is.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I feel like we could all go home now. Thank you, our beloved Reverend Dr. Sunny Cantrell Smith, freshly back from vacation, and just honored to be with you today. What a beautiful opening. Centers for Spiritual Living, our mission, our focus, our reason for being, making a world that works for everyone. And peace is the center of that. Through the Science of Mind teachings and through all the beautiful beings that are a part of this organization, allowing spirit to move through us in that space, peace is at the core. I wanted to say a quick quote from the Science of Mind textbook on page 444. Peace is the power at the heart of God. It is through the revelation of the self to the self that one understands life, that he, she approaches the power which is at the heart of God. This comes through a recognition of unity of the individual with the spirit back of, in, and through all. Back of, in, and through all. And just knowing that this day is blessed by that, I just want to say thank you to Dr. Sunny, to Rebecca, to Blanca, and to all the presenters today for providing this space for us to come together and recognize International Day of Peace and recognize peace. It seems that that is what the world is calling for right now more than anything. And I am incredibly grateful to be a part of that. Also, the Sacred Activism Committee and all that they've done to really celebrate International Day of Peace and bring it out through our communities. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your presence. And thank you for being a part of the Centers for Spiritual Living movement as we continue to work together to make a world that works for all. Blessings.
Hi, everybody. This meeting has interpretation. So in the bottom of your screen, you will see a little word, and it's an interpretation, and you're gonna click there, and please select if you are using English or if you are using Spanish. So that way you can understand most of the stuff that they are speaking right now, okay? So thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm Blanca Mejía. Estás en el canal de español. Te tienes que cambiar al canal de inglés para que te escuchen, Marcel. ¿Sí? ¿Ok? Sí. ¿Ya? ¿Listos? ¿Me escuchan en inglés? Bueno, no sé si me escuchan o no, espero que sí. Así, Elisha dijo que sí. Ok, muy bien. Bueno, muchas gracias a todos por estar en esta mañana. Y el día de hoy vamos a seguir en este ambiente de calma y de paz. Y vamos a hacer una pequeña meditación Y yo les pido que todos cierren sus ojos en este momento, pero que se hagan conscientes de en dónde están, en el espacio en el que están, que se hagan conscientes de su cuerpo, de su respiración. Y poco a poco la vayan sosteniendo y dejándola ir. De esta manera nos centramos en el aquí y el ahora. Y nos centramos a reconocer la divinidad absoluta en el todo, en cada espacio, en cada persona, en cada cosa que nuestra mente puede imaginar. Es esta divinidad absoluta que nos sostiene en espacio neutro, en este espacio de paz, en este espacio que se desarrolla y que se vive y que se siente en cada momento. Y este espacio y esta paz y este amor está en cada uno de nuestros corazones, está en mi corazón, en tu corazón. Está en este momento perfecto, en esta respiración perfecta, en los oídos perfectos, en la voz perfecta. Es esta calma, es la calma que nos soporta, que nos guía y que en todo momento está dentro de nosotros. Y de esta manera yo te pido que disfrutes de un minuto, solo un minuto, de la respiración consciente en esta paz que existe en tu mente y en tu corazón. Siguiendo alertas, reconociendo este sentimiento de alegría, de consuelo, de armonía, de amor. Este sentimiento que habita en nosotros como nosotros, que más que un sentimiento es la esencia de nuestro ser, es nuestro yo, es nuestro yo soy. Es esta paz que viene desde adentro hacia afuera. Y es esta paz que nos permite ver el mundo que queremos ver. Nos permite ver y ser esta paz que queremos ver. Alineada siempre en todo nuestro ser, en nuestros pensamientos, en nuestros sentimientos, en nuestras palabras, en nuestras acciones. Es la paz perfecta. Es esta perfección absoluta de lo que yo soy. Y es este yo con mayúscula, que va más allá de las palabras, pero es la esencia que comulga con todos, con cada persona que está en este planeta, con cada persona que me uno y que me veo el día de hoy. Es esta paz que vibra, que se expresa y que se manifiesta aquí y ahora, en todo lo que somos. Y simplemente con este sentimiento de agradecimiento, de saber quién soy, de reconocer lo que soy, que es equivalente a este amor, a esta armonía y la paz. Yo abro este espacio para que se manifieste en lo mejor de lo mejor. Decimos todos juntos y así es.
Yes, he is.
So it is. That was very beautiful. Thank you, Blanquis. So we're going to begin acknowledging and being with and honoring the attributes of peace. I'm going to go ahead and share some slides with you all that will guide us through this time. All right, here we are. So yeah, we're so very glad to be with you, and such gratitude to Sacred Activism for being the umbrella for this beautiful work, and to Dr. Sunny for leading that incredible group. So our first attribute of peace that we want to speak about is that peace is complex. But I think sometimes in spiritual community, we don't want to look at this, or it's uncomfortable. We just want to go to how beautiful peace is, which it is. But I think that we want to make sure that we don't glaze over, that we don't bypass some of the realities of the world that we're living in, and some of the pain that exists in the world and conflict. And so peace is complex because of that. And we have a beautiful section here for Peace is Complex. We have the wonderful Rev. Daryl Jones, who's going to kick us off. And then we have the amazing practitioner Galina Skripiknik, who is from, she's one of our Ukrainian leaders, part of the Ukrainian leader group, and just brings such depth and wisdom and beauty. And so we're so honored to have her prayer after Rev. Daryl opens us. And then Jamie Lula has sent us a recording so that we can bask in the music. So I will hand it over to Rev. Daryl.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. Good day, everyone. I am honored and grateful to be talking about this piece here, that peace is complex. Because as Rebecca mentioned, oftentimes we want peace to be simple. We want peace to have a single tone or note, that it ideally feels easy, that it's light, that peace is something that is effortless. But what I have found in my few years on the planet, and what many great minds have written about, is that peace is not simple. Peace is quite complex. And one of the ways I love to get into this idea of complexity is two of my favorite loves on the planet: music and food. Some of the most powerful music that I listen to, that I enjoy, that moves my heart and my soul, it isn't simple. It isn't one note. It is quite rich. It is quite complex. It is filled with so much. And the same is true of oftentimes some of the most amazing food that I have had. It is not simple. It is quite complex. It has so many notes and overtones of sweetness and sour, salt and bitter. And so to bring that idea and that notion into our conversation and into our prayer work and our meditation today, to realize that even our experience on this webinar, on this call, is not simple, that there are many things that are vying for our attention, and part of our work is to be present. Mindfulness is paying attention to the present moment on purpose in a particular way, and for us to come together with the intention of exploring peace, being peace, praying for peace, meditating for peace. It's not something that is easy to do. It's something that we are attempting to do, that we are intending to do in the midst of whatever may be happening in our physical environment, in the room that we're in, but also as we look out into the greater world. Could I have the next slide, Rebecca? So this brings us to this lovely quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. We're here to talk about peace. We say that we believe in peace. We must work at it. And as I was reflecting on what to bring forward in addition to this quote and ideas here, I realized that just a few weeks ago, I did a talk on peace. And the talk title was a question. And the question was, are you practicing peace? Because peace is an idea, just like love is an idea. The tangible, the palpable experience of this idea of peace, this idea of love is in our living, right? When we connect to one another. And the complexity of peace is that it is not a passive thing. It requires our willingness, first and foremost. Are we willing to practice peace? Are we willing to be peaceful? Are we willing to take a stand for peace in the midst of everything that seems in contrast to it? And so we have a willingness, hopefully, but our willingness is not enough. We must effort. We must effort. Just as our spirituality and our connection to the divine, we have a belief in something greater than we are, but it's not enough. We have to practice. We have to treat. We have to pray. We have to read. We have to meditate. We have to exude effort to keep ourselves connected. And so we have willingness, we have effort, but our intention in our efforting is so important to hold in mind, and to realize that we are here not to get to a destination of peace, but rather to practice it at all times. And this, to me, is the complexity of peace. We want it to be a destination. We want it to be a static plateau that we can sit in, but it is actually, it's an action. It's a living. It's a movement. So in addition to this wonderful quote from Eleanor Roosevelt, it isn't enough to talk about peace. Once we must believe in it, and not only believe in it, we must work at it. Ernest Holmes, in this thing called You on page 79, said, peace comes from a sense of union with the whole. Confusion comes from a sense of separation. And this again points to the complexity of living peace. It's not only about seeing and feeling and experiencing connection to the whole. We must also embrace the confusion in our life, because it is the gift of letting us know that we are off center. It is the gift of letting us know that we have turned ourselves in the wrong direction, just like we need a compass to show us when we are in alignment with the direction we want to go and when we are not. We have to pay attention to both. If we did not pay attention to the moments on our compass that pointed that we were going in the wrong direction, we would never know. We would just keep floating in the wrong direction, hoping that magically we would end up, waiting for the arrow to line up and say we are pointed in the right direction. We must embrace the wholeness of life. So peace comes from a sense of union with the whole. And I think if we could have our beloved Ernest Holmes sit down cross-legged with us on the floor and share a cup of tea and talk about this, he would expand on this idea that the whole today is the whole of life. Not just that which we like or that which we understand. It is also that which we don't understand, and even the things that we don't like. A couple of ways that we can use this quote and idea to help us navigate and actually welcome and hold in our space and awareness that which feels good and that which does not feel good is we're looking for the symptoms, right? That is the telltale sign of peace. The symptoms that we are feeling connected, the symptom of feeling love, the symptom of feeling trust, the symptom of feeling a sense of safety or well-being, contentment, happiness, self-trust, patience, kindness, compassion, gentleness, and more. Those are all the ways of knowing that we have pointed ourselves in the right direction. But there's also the symptoms, as Ernest Holmes said, confusion comes from the sense of separation. When we are feeling confused, we may also know that there's more to it. Afraid, anger. Maybe we don't feel anything at all and we're just numb and checked out. Overwhelm, anxiety, dread, burnout, shame, hopelessness, despair. All of these things let us know that peace is not possible. It lets us know that we are not focusing our energy and attention on that which is peace, that we are not efforting ourselves in the right direction. Peace is not the experience of nothingness. Peace is the experience of everythingness. One of my favorite quotes I'm going to end with in a moment here from the Dalai Lama, but to look at the reality of our world, we all are aware on some level of the different warrings that are taking place. Whether it's in the Ukraine, Somalia, other countries, whether it is not so much about combat, but the fact that there's starvation when we live on a planet that is so well resourced, when we are constantly finding ourselves listening and hearing on the news in ways that people are othered or marginalized, or in the worst case scenario, killed just by the fact of who they are. We know that there is a challenge on our planet, that there may not be a 100% willingness to practice peace, that there isn't 100% effort towards peace. So what can we do with that? How do we sit in the complexity of this great idea and what we see? The Dalai Lama once said that world peace must develop from inner peace. Great notion. But what do we do with it? He continues to say that peace is not just the mere absence of violence. Peace is the manifestation of human compassion. So as we sit in this rich complexity of peace, as we sit in the rich complexity of this world of ours, what if we practiced compassion? What if we took a moment to step back and breathe? And to me, that is the purpose and the point of this International Day of Peace and of this prayer-a-thon. Let us constantly move our hearts and minds into a place of compassion for ourselves first, that we may bring it into the world and impact and affect greater peace. Thank you. Peace and blessings.
Thank you, Rev Daryl. As we move into Galina's prayer, we just invite you to consider ways that we can be peace builders who are able to sit with the complexity, all that Rev Daryl was speaking about. So let's just breathe in and release.
Good day. My name is Galina. I'm a practitioner from Timinos. There is only one life, one divine presence, one mind. This mind is God. This mind is also my mind. I choose only peace and love. I stand for peace in my heart, mind, and soul. I see peace everywhere I look. I choose to feel peace in every cell of my body. As a divine being, I'm connected to every brother and sister on the planet at the level of oneness. My inner knowing is a seed for world peace. I cast these seeds over the entire planet. I claim peace. I radiate love and peace. Peace begins within me and extends to my family, friends, community, city, country, and world. I am totally awake and aware of my thoughts, my emotions, my beliefs. I know only peace and love. I experience peace. I claim peace. I stand for peace in the world. I accept peace. With a deep sense of gratitude, trust, and love, I release my prayer, my words to universal law. And so it is. Namaste.
And so it is.
So it is. Oh, so beautiful. So we're going to move into some music from Jamie Lula, and we just invite you during this music to let Galina's prayer just land deeply in your body, into your soul.
Peace and countless blessings, y'all. I wish you peace. I wish you joy. I wish you love, 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 love. I wish you faith in yourself to reveal all that you've come here to be. Love is my choice. Love is my decision. Love is my voice. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. I wish you strength. I wish you courage. Wish you love, 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 love. I wish you purpose to create all your dreams and co-conspire with the light of your life. Love is my choice. Love is my decision. Love is my voice. Love is my religion. Love, love, love is my religion. Your answers to eternity are always deep inside you. Their freedom of expression are yours to choose or hide. Love is my choice. Love is my decision. No, love is my voice. Love is my religion. Love Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is. Love is my religion. Love is. Love is. Love is. Love is.
Wow. Thank you so much, Jamie. I love you. So another attribute of peace is bravery, which may sound interesting, being brave, but you know, peace can be seen as an act of bravery because it often requires courage to pursue calmness and understanding and resolution in the face of conflict or chaos or fear. You know, I don't know about you all, but I enjoy being right. And sometimes I'm not right. And it takes a lot of bravery to be willing to sit down with someone who has opposing views and be able to discuss them in a peaceful manner. So choosing peace means literally resisting the urge to react. And a lot of times it's reacting with aggression, or I want to say to retaliate or to escalate tension. And you know, this can be difficult. Restraint can be difficult, especially when anger or fear feels more immediate and natural. And so what I'd like you all to remember is that in many situations, striving for peace involves making tough decisions. It's, you know, it's literally about standing up for what is right without resorting to violence in our language or in our actions, and being willing to listen and to empathize with others. It also means being vulnerable and open to compromise, and sometimes letting go of pride, the desire to be right, or the desire to win. And I really believe that this path requires strength and courage, making peace not a sign of weakness, but actually a very brave choice. And so I want to ask Jermaine Mitchell, the wonderful Jermaine Mitchell, to share with us more information about peace is bravery.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Let's go to the next slide. So once again, let's look at peace and the fact that peace does require bravery and the courage that needs to come forth when you're dealing with inequity and violence within ourselves and in the world, and how we as individuals can align ourselves with a truer truth, our peace, the world's peace. Peace is brave. And as you think of this, and as you look at this slide, just imagine yourself. Imagine the times that you've come forth. Imagine the times that you stood up for what was right, what was true. Sometimes it was just showing up, and other times there are times where we have to speak of truth.
So imagine yourself as we go through these slides. I don't want it to be about other people. I don't want it to be about other images. At this point, when we're talking about building peace, let's start looking at ourselves and see ourselves reflected on the screen. Next slide, please. So what may look like a small act of courage is courage nonetheless. And the important thing is to be willing to take a step forward. When you look at your life and circumstances surrounding your existence, think of the baby steps you took to get where you are today. That's huge. And even though it may look like a small act of courage, it is definitely courage. Congratulations on making that step. Next slide, please. Oh, my favorite right here. So examples of brave peace builders. I would like everyone here to imagine their name up here. Imagine your name and think back to a time where you took a stand, where you stood on truth, where you stood for peace, where you came forth and said, I think the greater good of all is what I am willing to surrender to lean into. So as we look at men, women, and children of peace, imagine yourself in the times in which you took a stand. Imagine the times where you came forth and said, I am going to relinquish being right, but I want to be just, and I want to see justice for all. Next slide, please. So let's breathe. Yes, yes, yes. This is a lot, and a lot does come up for individuals when we reflect on self and we think about peace and we think about our current situation. But what we need to know is within that breath, within that moment that we breathe, that's when we actually change circumstances. As long as we remember the here and the now and the breath, we can be the change because we are the change. So know that we are at choice. We are creative, compassionate, wholeheartedly brave people who, like the inspiring people we just spoke about, it's you, can make a difference in peace building, both within ourselves and in the world as a whole. Next slide, please. So as we move into prayer together, you're invited to reflect on the ways that you are and can be a brave peace leader and support brave peace leaders around the world. And so as we learn about brave peace leaders and brave individuals such as yourself, let's just, as we go into prayer together, remember the times where you were the peace. Remember the times and situations where it may have seemed chaotic, but you took that breath in your presence, instilled peace. That took courage. That was bravery. Next slide, please. So in this moment, I think we're calling someone in for prayer. Am I correct?
You are. Thank you so much, Jermaine. That was so beautiful and deepening. And we'll invite our wonderful Lily Madera to come and pray with us.
Gracias. If you want to hear it in English, because I'm going to do it in Spanish, you have to choose at the bottom where the global is, just choose English. Thank you. Voy a hacerlo en español y los pido que seleccionen el idioma. Y los invito a cerrar o entrecerrar sus ojos, sintiendo esa paz que hemos venido hablando toda la mañana y que sabemos que esa paz está en nosotros, dentro de nosotros, porque esa cualidad de Dios está aquí, presente, y respiro esa paz. Siento esa paz, vivo esa paz y la conecto a esa cualidad de Dios divina ¿Qué es el poder? El poder de saberme que soy valiente, de saber que esa valentía está conectada a esa paz y que simplemente decido pararme, sentir esa fuerza divina que está en mí ya y que está como en mí, está en cada quien, en cada uno de los presentes y de los que se conecten posteriormente. Y sabiéndonos con esas cualidades combinadas perfectamente, esa mezcla de paz, esa mezcla de valentía, de saber y de decir y de ponerme enfrente del mundo y de decir, esa paz es mía, pero esa paz la comparto, esa paz la vivo, esa paz la clamo, esa paz es ya mía. Y conscientemente vivir esa paz. Y reconociendo esa paz y reconociendo esa presencia divina, completa, perfecta, única, que yo la llamo Dios, es que sé que estamos rodeados de esa paz, pero es una decisión de vivirla, es una decisión con ese coraje, con esa entrega, con esa convicción de reclamar esa paz, si es que no está presente en mi vida, reclamarla como un derecho divino que yo tengo. Y ese derecho, como lo tengo yo, lo tiene cualquier otro ser humano que está en esta faz de la tierra. Todos, absolutamente todos compartimos el mismo oxígeno, la misma luz, la misma luna, la misma tierra, el mismo océano. Por lo tanto, con esa convicción presente, sé que también compartimos esa paz y que es una decisión mía. Y sé que de muchas otras personas a la faz de la tierra, de vivir en esa armonía, de vivir en esa paz que merecemos, puesto que para eso fuimos diseñados, para vivir en esa abundancia de amor, en esa abundancia de alegría, de gozo, de convicción, de paz. Por eso, el sabernos que está ese poder, de esa valentía, de reclamarla cuando no esté y de saber con convicción dar un paso enfrente y decir, esa paz es mía. ¿Qué debo hacer para seguir viviendo en paz? Tomar acción. Y el día de hoy tomo acción con gratitud desde el fondo de mi corazón, agradecer que esta mañana amanecí dando gracias por esa paz que vivo, por esa paz que gozo. Y esta misma paz que tengo yo, la comparto desde mi mundo, desde mi rincón, para hacer esa diferencia que yo quiero que haya en el mundo, pero comenzar por mí. Todo debe de comenzar por mí, desde mi pensamiento, mi vibración, mi convicción, mi práctica, e ir aumentando poco a poco mi círculo de convivencia, de paz, de armonía, irla compartiendo hasta compartirla con el mundo entero, desde el corazón, desde conectarnos con esa paz que ya es, que simplemente tenemos que revelarla, tenemos que aceptarla, vivirla, gozarla, disfrutarla y sobre todo agradecerla. Así que desde el fondo de mi corazón agradezco que cada una de las personas que estamos en esta llamada estamos convencidos, con seguridad, con valentía, que esa paz ya es, que esa paz ya existe, que simplemente tenemos que seguir valientemente, dar un paso enfrente y decir, ¿qué hago yo para que esta paz continúe? Para que otras personas también la vivan y la gocen al igual que yo. Porque sé que para eso estamos diseñados. Sé que esas cualidades de Dios divinas están presentes en cada uno de nosotros. Respiramos, sentimos y vibramos en esa paz, en ese amor, en ese gozo. Y con gratitud, con una gratitud enorme desde el fondo de mi corazón, doy gracias. Doy gracias porque sé que es un hecho, que esta paz está aquí, que esta paz la vivo, la siento, está en mí y en cada persona que se permita vivir en paz. Y juntos decimos, así es. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is.
Oh, thank you so much, Lily. And so it is. That was beautiful. We're now going to have our wonderful Blanca share a video that Denise Rosier, the wonderful musician, sent us to take in. And so as we listen to this music, let's take in the music and also the power of Jermaine's words and the power of Lily's prayer.
Peace, light, love in me. Sing those words together, peace, light, and love. Peace, light, love in me. Here in the stillness of this quiet hour, sweet words of wisdom fill my ears. Your words like water keep my soul sustained. Let them rain, let them rain. Peace, light, love in me. I hold your presence here inside of me. I rest in knowing you are here. Brighter than 1,000 stars across the sky. How you shine, how you shine. peace like love in me.
Oh, thank you, Denise. I love your music, like moves me in my whole body. We are going to go back into the slides now. So let me bring those back up for us as we enter the peace is kindness section of our time together. Here we go. Oh, it took us to the beginning. We'll get another little view of the wonderful content we've had so far. Here we are. Peace is kindness. You know, I think that kindness is different than niceness. I remember learning this years ago, or someone sharing that with me. And I think we grow up often thinking that to be nice and to be kind are equivalents, and perhaps it's over parsing words, but I think that there is a difference. There's a tenacity with kindness. I think that kindness comes from a really deep place within us. It's a fundamental commitment. It doesn't mean we always can do it, because we're humans that have every emotion under the sun pretty much every day. If we really were to catalog our emotions, we're fundamentally emotional creatures. But I do believe that kindness is this deep, innate calling that we have that lives within us, especially when we develop mindfulness practices, whether that be meditation or prayer, or just walking or journaling or whatever it is for us. You know, a screaming practice. I have someone that does a screaming practice in my life, and it really grounds them and lets them have access to that deep calling of kindness within them. And peace really is kindness, peace in ourselves, in the world, peace in our thoughts and in our bodies and all that we do and feel. It's a calling to kindness. It's a calling to this deep desire for goodness, this deep desire for goodness for everything that's living. It's this deep calling to oneness. So in this peace is kindness section of our time together today, I am going to invite the wonderful Rev. Elijah Christopher to open us with some thoughts and information about peace is kindness. And then we're going to have the wonderful practitioner Karen Batten pray for us. And then we're going to close this section before we move on to our next attribute and some sacred drumming with Gary Lynn Floyd, who recorded us a song from Bali, where he is right now. So I'm going to turn it over to Rev. Elijah.
Thank you, Rebecca. Grand Rising, beloved community. I am Reverend Elisha Christopher from the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Cruz, California, in the United States. And I get to talk about how peace is kindness. And as I've been contemplating these ideas, you know, sometimes I think peace is a concept that can feel quite abstract. And that sometimes when we think of peace, we often, maybe you don't, but I know sometimes I do, my mind often goes to not what peace is, but what peace is not, right? Oftentimes we think, oh, well, peace is the absence of war. Peace is the absence of violence. Peace is the absence of ... But I want us to think for a moment, and I want us to use kindness as a way of thinking about what peace is. I believe that kindness, we can think of kindness as the practice or the activity of peace, right? Because in a way, kindness is really about respect. Kindness is about honoring the other. Kindness is about treating everyone and every living thing, all beings, with that love, with that respect, with the same wishes and desires that we have for ourselves. And so when I think about the activity of kindness, the words of Jesus from the Sermon on the Mount come to my mind, where he tells us to love your enemy and to pray for those who hurt you, right? Kindness might be very easy to share with the people that we love, with the people who are kind to us. But what does it look like to cultivate kindness in our heart for those who perhaps we disagree with, for those who perhaps we have harmed us, for those who perhaps we perceive as causing greater harm in the world? What does it look like for us to hold those individuals in our hearts with kindness? Remembering that the Don Miguel Ruiz's 4 agreements come to mind, where he tells us to take nothing personally. Right? When we are able to remember that there's so much going on in the other at any given time, that the way that we hold each other is our practice of peace. I think of the words of the Dalai Lama, who says that my religion is kindness. So let's think about the activity of kindness in our lives. It's how we greet each other in the world. It's how we respond when perhaps we feel hurt or we disagree with someone. One of my teachers used to always tell me, you can say anything you want to anyone else as long as you do it with kindness and respect. So I think that the practice of cultivating kindness as the activity of peace is finding within ourselves the ability to be kind, the ability to be conscious of our words, to be the ability to hold each other in love, regardless of what it is that we are experiencing from the other, or whatever it is that's happening in the moment. Can we show up with kindness and respect? Because I think that also oftentimes can be the way that we diffuse that pain, that we diffuse that hatred, that we diffuse that which is coming at us by not magnifying it. When we walk in kindness, we create peace. But let's think of this activity of kindness as not only how we interact with our fellow humans, but what does kindness look like in our relationship with the earth? What does kindness look like in relationship with the animals and the plants that might become our food, how we harvest them, how we grow them, how we care for them in the process? Kindness is an activity. It's the beingness of peace. And so I want to bring us to mind the Buddhist loving kindness prayer that starts with the self, right? Maybe you want to repeat these words after me. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. That's our prayer for ourselves, but then we extend it to the other. So we might say, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be at peaceful and at ease, and may you be happy. And then we could expand that out into the all of us, to all of life. So let's go to the next slide. We have a couple quotes that I just want to read for us to contemplate for a moment. And so these words from Lao Tzu tell us, kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness in giving creates love. Just breathe those words in and let it go. Let's go to the next slide. And this one is from David Freiberg that says, kindness creates and strengthens connections between people, and that matters. It's the connections between us is where the healing happens, and it is kindness that allows us to cultivate and strengthen those connections. Let's go to the next slide. So take a deep breath in. This is a lot. It's important. And it's heartening. We know that we are at choice. We are creative, compassionate, wholehearted people who can make a difference in peace building, both within ourselves and in the world as a whole. Another breath. And so I want to highlight a couple of things that are on the screen before I close. This idea of building a journaling practice, being with ourselves honestly can foster kindness. You know, we often hear that phrase, peace in the world starts in peace in the home, and peace in the home starts in the heart. Well, kindness might have to first begin with ourselves, to pay attention to the thoughts that we're thinking, to pay attention to, am I being kind to myself? Sometimes journaling might allow us to reflect on those thoughts that we think throughout the day, the ways that we hold ourselves. Are you kind to yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror, when you put yourself together? Are you kind to yourself when you reflect on how you responded or how you reacted in a moment that perhaps wasn't how you want to be? Do we beat ourselves up, or do we give ourselves the same kindness that we'd want for someone else? So journaling might give us the opportunity to reflect on that. Develop an objectify practice. Practice. Try taking some things from the news, look around at the world, take things in, listen to other people's perspectives. But really just practice being kind. Do not be nice. Do something nice for someone. But even bigger than that, kindness can be the way that we show up for our community, how we advocate for kinder policies, for kinder laws, for kinder communities. Kindness is the activity and the practice of peace. So as we move into prayer together, you're invited to reflect on the ways that you can cultivate peace within yourself, how we can do that individually, and how we can do that collectively. Thank you, friends.
Thank you so much, Revelation. It was powerful. And Karen will invite you to share a prayer with us.
Thank you, Rebecca. And Reverend Elijah, it's interesting you should mention Buddhist loving kindness. I've incorporated the Buddhist definition of kindness in my prayer. So I invite you to join me in the stillness and know with me that there is only one life, one essence, one peace. This is the foundation of the world. It is what makes up all things, this peace. It flows through all things. It drives all things. And it drives the kindness in the world. We are interconnected. Kindness is imperative. And so this peace, this kindness is all there is. This light, whatever you want to call it, it's light, it's peace. And right here, right now, at this very instant, this peace, this kindness is expressing as all beings, as everyone in this room, everyone who is not in this room, as everything that is in the world, in the universe. And so what I know is we are interconnected and we are made of peace. And from this interconnection and from this peace arises kindness. And kindness is within us, without us, it's surrounding us. The clerk at the grocery store is doing us a kindness. They are providing what we need. All people are doing us a kindness. They are showing us lessons, telling us what we need to learn. So may we understand this kindness. And may this kindness come from peace and love. I claim all beings, the peace in all beings that drives this kindness. I claim the recognition of this peace and love. And I am grateful. I celebrate the kindness. I celebrate the peace. I am just so grateful. And knowing my word is absolutely true, I release it into law, and it is done, and so it is.
So it is.
And so
Thank you so much, Karen. That was beautiful. And now we're going to move into some beautiful music. Blanca is going to share a recording that Gary Lynn Floyd made for us from Bali, where he is right now. And as we listen to this, take in the music, take in the beautiful sharing of Rev Elijah and the wonderful prayer from Karen, and just let it integrate into your body.
Greetings from Bali. Gary Lynn Floyd here with you. Thank you, Rebecca, for this invitation to participate in this beautiful event for world peace. I invite you to sing this if you know it. I love you. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, I will love. And where there is sadness, I will bring joy. Where there is darkness, I will shine. Claim it. I am an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument of peace. One more time. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is sadness, where there is sadness, I will bring joy. Where there is darkness, where there is darkness, I will shine. Claim it for yourself. I am an instrument of peace. Then make it our prayer. Make me an instrument of peace. One more time. I am an instrument of peace. Make me an instrument of peace. I love you.
Oh, and we love you, Gary Lynn Floyd, all the way from Bali. I love that. So here's a video that we want to play for you coming up, and it's a drumming video. And I like talking about drumming. I am a drummer and have traveled all over the U.S. playing drums. And what I would invite you to consider while you're listening to this video, or whether you're dancing or taking a break or whatever it may feel like in the moment for you, that the human body is naturally rhythmic. I mean, we've seen some people dance and you're thinking, I don't know if they have rhythm or not, but they do have rhythm. They have their own rhythm. And so consider the fact that our heartbeat, our breath, and even our cellular processes move in cycles and patterns. And drumming taps into these innate rhythms, creating this sense of, I want to say, harmony between the drummer and the body. So when we listen to, or when we play a drum beat, it often resonates with our pulse, and including grounding us in the present moment. And this connection to rhythm can really reduce stress. It can calm the nervous system, and it can create a sense of inner peace. And additionally, drumming creates vibrations that our bodies naturally respond to. So these vibrations can have a soothing, almost meditative effect, especially when the rhythm is slow and steady. And the repetition, the cyclical nature of drumming can quiet the mind, can bring us, like I said before, into this meditative state. And in this way, what happens is drumming can really help us to connect with the peace that already exists within us, beneath the surface of our everyday mental chatter. And so the other thing is, in many, many cultures, drumming has been used as a ritual to invoke peace, to invoke healing, and also to invoke community. And even though we're on Zoom, we're presenting a community today. And so this steady rhythm of a drum can symbolize the heartbeat of not only the earth, but the heartbeat of the community that we are representing today. So I invite you to dance if you want to the next video, to take a break, to close your eyes and really feel the rhythm, whatever is good for you right now in this moment. Thank you.
Wait. Be patient, please.
Oh, sounds good. Thank you, Dr. Sunny. Blanca
You're
is
welcome.
Blanca's pulling up the
I
drum.
can play my own drum if you'd like.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Was it? That's what I was wondering.
Rebecca!
Oh, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Dr. Sunny, your wisdom on drumming, and Blanca for playing that video for us. So we are going to have a few more moments for a bio break for anyone who needs one. And let's say in 2 minutes, we'll come back and dive back into our time of connection, prayer, sharing, and music. So we'll see you momentarily. We invite everyone to come back into the room, back into the space together. And Blanca will be welcoming our next element.
Hello. Hello, hello. So for the people who just arrived, this meeting has interpretation. So in the bottom of your screen, you have a little globe and that say interpretation. Just please select English. Okay, so that way you can understand everything that is. Ok, Marcel, vete al otro cuarto. Gracias. Ok, bueno, ¿qué tal se sintieron después de los tambores? Súper bien, ¿no? Me siento así como que todavía. Ay, bueno, y el siguiente elemento que me tocó es el de la sanación. Y estaba pensando en este segmento, ¿no? Últimamente yo he leído libros del nuevo pensamiento de los autores como de la vieja escuela, ¿no? Los que empezaron todo esto. Y siento que al menos al leer a Ernest Holmes en los libros en inglés, siento que es el núcleo de la enseñanza de ciencia de la mente, de la enseñanza del nuevo pensamiento, la sanación. Y en realidad creo totalmente que paz es sanación. Y bueno, siento también que reconciliar nuestras emociones, pensamientos y acciones con nuestra divinidad interior nos permite en realidad vivir en este estado neutro y sanar cualquier obstáculo que sintamos como de discordia. Y bueno, les voy a presentar nuestro siguiente panelista que nos va a hablar de la paz es sanación. Y después vamos a escuchar la música de nuestro amado Pierre. Adelante. Rebeca, no sé si está Reverend Krish con nosotros. O estás tú, o no, es Laura, ¿no?
Thank you so much, Blanca, for that beautiful reflection. I believe Rev Chris will be sharing some with us, and then Lauren. Reverend Chris, are you with us, love?
I'm here. I had trouble getting my audio off.
Thank you, Reverend Chris.
Thank you. So this next section on healing, recall that Ernest Holmes said that we are a healing and teaching chapter. So our first directive, if you will, from Ernest is all about healing. And yet, what does healing mean? Healing means that we must go for ourselves first. We cannot heal others unless we are healed. And I know that in many ways I am preaching to the choir on this particular video cast, that you've all done your healing work. And yet I hope that some of the quotes, some of the ideas that will be expressed will further your consciousness and help you on a deeper dive into your own personal healing. Next slide, please. All of you are probably familiar with Desmond Tutu. He was the spiritual leader during a very difficult time in South Africa. There was apartheid and so much more that were going on during his time as the spiritual leader. He points out that forgiveness and being reconciled to our enemies is one of the first tasks that we must address. To reflect back on some of the comments made already this morning, unkind thoughts will not get us where we want to be. Our thoughts cannot be reactive, and not just our thoughts, but in the very cells of our being. We have to know that all forgiveness is present throughout our being. That every time we reach a new situation or perceive a new situation, we look to ourselves first for our own mental health. We may hear of world leaders or others creating what we perceive as very unkind thoughts. And yet we know that in some way they perhaps are not healed, but we can be the blessing that heals them. I have a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. Look into the nature of your anger and know it has come from feelings of aloneness, isolation, feeling abandoned, and powerless. As we reflect on that, there are many situations in the world today that we feel powerless about. And not just that outside world, but perhaps within our families, within our friends, within our neighbors. We feel like perhaps there's something they are doing that we perceive as unkind. But who gets to hold the truth of that person? We do. We get to hold the truth that they are a spiritual being. And we know through spiritual mind treatment that we treat ourselves for a change of thought rather than their change of thought. Next slide, please. This is a reflection on the many, many truth and reconciliation commissions that have occurred in our world so far. By our acknowledging this and acknowledging the powerful impact that they can have on each individual situation, we raise the consciousness around their work. We raise our consciousness around what is possible. As we raise our consciousness, the consciousness of the world is raised. Next slide, please. We have the opportunity to breathe whenever perhaps we find ourselves in reactive thought or even reactive action. We know we can breathe. We know we can let go. We know we can look at that in a future as to how we want to handle that situation. Is there more for us to learn? Is there more for us to forgive? Is there more for us to journal about, to treat about, to go into meditation or contemplation about? Next slide, please. So as we look into where we go next from here, I have a quote from Deepak Chopra about peace. Peace is the prevailing mood accepted by the vast majority of people. Now we are looking for ways to make our will and desire more powerful than war. Fortunately, this is both possible and practical. According to the ancient Vedic traditions in India, you will know you are living the way of peace when three things are present. First, Siva, your actions harm no one and benefit everyone. Secondly, Simran, you remember your true nature and your purpose for being here. And third, you join the community of peace and wisdom. I invite you this day to recognize that you are the community of peace and wisdom, to recognize that you are that eternal peace of God right here. An affirmation that you may wish to carry forward as you listen to the next prayer, and perhaps that person will have an affirmation for you too. But the affirmation that came to mind for me was, I am peace personified. I am peace personified. And now let's go to the next section. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Rev Chris. That was beautiful. We're going to invite Lauren Martin to come and offer us a prayer now.
Thank you, Rebecca. Okay, so let's just take a deep breath and settle into this beautiful container that we've created that is filled with the peace and the wonder and amazement that we get to feel through the realization that everything, everywhere that we can sense or feel or see is all God. It is all part of that amazing presence, that amazing creative medium. It is all connected, allowing each and every one of us to feel that connection through each of us, running through us to those who cannot be present today, throughout the world, through all beings, through all things, through all existence. And knowing with this connection that there is an amazing healing ability and amazing healing energy that flows through each and every one of us. As we breathe in all the good, all the joy, all the healing that is present in the universe, we remember that through this connection to the divine, that we have all that we need, all the resources, all of the knowledge, all of the capabilities to heal ourselves, to grow stronger, to live the life of peace and health and abundance and joy that we crave. And as we do this, as we grow and show up as peace, as healing, as health, as joy, we encourage each other to feel the same, to experience that amazing gift, to be able to tap into that energy, into the divine wisdom, knowing that in this connection, in this healing breath, is all that we need, all that we know, all that the world needs to become peaceful, joyous, abundant, and shared for each and every one of us. And we breathe into this gratitude of knowing that peace is available to each and every one of us. We just allow it in, tap into it in ourselves, let it flow from us, let it heal the world as we just keep breathing that energy. And in each moment, anytime there's anything that does not feel at peace, we know that we have access to our breath. And through this breath, we have access to any feeling of peace that we need, and a reminder that we can believe and breathe in the peace, breathe in the joy, replace all the doubt and fear and anxiety and hurt and pain with simple words of, with this breath, I heal through peace. And I'm so grateful for this experience, for these gifts, for the ability to heal and grow and expand our consciousness through understanding of peace, joy, and abundance, and how to obtain that through our connection to the divine. And so I release these words knowing they are true, they are done, they are perfect, they are covering each and every one of us and this whole planet today and every day moving forward. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you so much, Lauren. And so it is. That was beautiful. Blanca is going to say a few words about our next musician, who we are so honored to have with us. So I'll hand it over to you, Blanca.
Claro, claro. Gracias, gracias. Bueno, a continuación les voy a presentar a nuestro director musical de la Escuela de Liderazgo y de toda la región 13. Es quien nos apoya con la música. Él es Piero García, originario de Perú, y ahora está viviendo en Argentina. No es cierto, perdón, ¿por qué dije Argentina? No, en Madrid, en Madrid. O sea, bueno, Piero, mil gracias por estar aquí. ¿Estás enmudecido, Rey? Gracias.
Gracias a ti, Blanquita. Vamos a hacer una canción. We're gonna make a song that's called Peace in the Storm, Paz en la Tormenta. Cuando lloras por las veces que intentaste y tratas de olvidar las lágrimas que lloraste, solo tienes pena y tristeza y el futuro incierto espera. Puedes tener paz en la tormenta. Puedes tener paz en la tormenta. Fe y esperanza cuando no puedas seguir, aun con tu mundo hecho pedazos, el Señor guiará tus pasos en paz en medio de la tormenta. Muchas veces yo me siento igual que tú y mi corazón anhela algo real. El Señor viene a mí y me ayuda paz en medio de la tormenta. Puedes tener paz en la tormenta. Fe y esperanza cuando no puedas seguir, aun con tu mundo hecho pedazos, el Señor guiará tus pasos en paz en medio de la tormenta. En paz en medio de la tormenta.
Oh my goodness. That was so
Thank you.
beautiful. Thank you, Piero.
Thank you. Thanks to you.
Wow.
Thanks, Blanca.
That was amazing. Oh, I feel that like through me completely. Thank you. And that was perfect, a perfect feeling as we move into our next element, our next attribute of peace. Peace is love. So let me bring up the slides again for us. And as we're bringing those up, I'll share that the next person who will be presenting is our wonderful Rev Trish Hall, who's going to give us some words about peace is love. And we're also going to have the incredible Ada Dimitropoulos providing us a prayer. She sent us an amazing recording. And we're going to have the music of Laura Berman, who is just such a soulful person, a soul sister, to close this section. And then we'll have some words from Dr. Sunny and some prayer from Dr. Sunshine Michelle Coleman. So peace is love. I often wonder at what love means. Love like peace. Rev Daryl spoke about this earlier. Peace is a very abstract concept in some ways. And in other ways, it's this deep, visceral feeling, expression, birthright that we have within us. And I think love is the same way. It's very abstract, but at the same time, it's something so visceral in our bodies. Like we feel it. When we talk about our heart, we talk about love. And I had a really interesting experience this week where unexpectedly I got to see an ultrasound image of my heart, like in real time for a medical test. And it was the most extraordinary thing. I don't know if any of you have seen an ultrasound of your heart, but to watch my heart beating, to watch my heart completely animating my body, being my lifeblood, the organ that makes everything else able to happen. It was really moving to see it and to know that, like, at our core, there is such a powerful force. Like, our heart is a powerful force, and that is love. I can see why the heart and love are often coupled together in concept and in imagery for us as humans, because love is that central beating heart. It's that center of who we are. It's powerful, it's forceful, it's steady, it's rhythmic. It's the music of who we are. And so I am honored to pass my word on to Rev Trish, who is going to talk to us a little bit more about peace is love.
Thank you, Rebecca. And interestingly enough, I too have seen the imagery of the opportunity to watch my own heart pumping. And I hadn't thought of that in years. And it is life-changing when we humans get to see this. And remember that the spark that causes the heartbeat has never been replicated. That spark is, as far as I am concerned, the spark of the divine. That creator that has sprung forth as each one of us is triggering the heart to have its impulse. That is the essence. When creation is happening, it's happening in each one of those impulses. And so thank you for the reminder, Rebecca. Where I wanted to start with this topic, which happens to be a vital part of my life, it's a passion of mine, is in our teaching, we are taught that love is the most powerful healing force in the entire universe. And for some, when thinking about heart, they're thinking about sort of a downlined nest or love. They're thinking about something soft and cushy and wonderfully nurturing, and that has them wrapped, and it's all soft and cuddly. And yes, it is all of that. It is the emotion that's arising from us when we are in the company of those who matter deeply to us. And love also is the most powerful force in the universe. You don't have to include the healing part of it, because love heals all wounds. Love resolves everything unlike it. And the power of humans coming together in love on any given topic is absolutely unstoppable. We are powerful beyond measure, as Marianne Williamson said. We are powerful beyond measure. And when we are united in love as love, then that's when we really, really get into that full radiance, that full love. Next slide, please, because there's a great quote from Valerie Kaur. And I encountered Valerie Kaur a number of years ago. She was speaking at a small event, and she was at that time basically, or so far as I was concerned and the people I knew, kind of an unknown. And she has now come stepping into her own power of love, being expressed as her. As a social activist and writer, and she happens to be an attorney, but where her passion lies is in social activism. And it lies in such a way that it aligns with our whole push, our whole embrace of sacred activism. And her quote, which I will read to you, even though you can read it for yourself, you might want to maybe even close your eyes and listen to it. Love is more than a feeling. Love is a form of sweet labor, fierce, bloody, imperfect, and life-giving. A choice we make over and over again. If love is sweet labor, love can be taught, modeled, and practiced. This labor engages all our emotions. Joy is the gift of love. Grief is the price of love. Anger protects that which is loved. And when we think we have reached our limit, wonder is the act that returns us to love. And so wonder is the act that returns us to love, that it's sometimes we get distracted and we get pulled away from it, and we get tangled in the circumstance around us. And when we get tangled in the circumstance around us, sometimes we forget that it's just all about love, because just imagine a world in which everyone treated everyone with kindness and respect. Those are essential aspects of love. In Way to Peace, our foundation, the tenet is that we are to treat each and every person, whether we like them or not, whether we think they've lost their minds, whether, no judgments about it. to be kind and respectful no matter what. That is to be loving kindness no matter what. We are called to that. We are called to that. And the Dalai Lama pointed out, and this fits so well with what Rebecca had brought into it about our lifeblood. The Dalai Lama said, just as blood nourishes the heart, which keeps it flowing, so love nourishes spiritual freedom and is in turn kept flowing by it. The connection is so strong in Buddhism, often known as the path of freedom, could equally be called the religion of love. And so when we look at a religion of love, imagine, I love going into the imaginal realm, imagine a world in which everyone was practicing a religion of love. A religion is something that you do consistently. It is a mental aspect of you. It is held high in your consciousness. It is the activity that calls you into life. Many times with students, I'll have them adopt an affirmation. I am an activity of God as love. And then I tell them to go live it. Live it when it's easy. And more importantly, live it when it's not easy. And so in Buddhism, the more you are motivated by love, the more fearless and free your action will be. In other words, love and courage are totally intertwined. When we know that we're each an activity of God as love, then we can be bold. We can be sacred activists. We can stand on behalf of what matters. We can stand on behalf of those who cannot stand. We can be the voice of those who don't have a voice. That's what we're called to. And when Reverend Chris mentioned Thich Nhat Hanh, it reminded me of the 4 elements of love. And they are friendship, brotherhood, loving kindness is the first. The second is capacity to understand suffering and help remove and transform it. That's compassion. The third is joy. Your joy is her joy is his joy is everyone's joy. It is that upliftment of love to an exhilarating experience of self that isn't found in any other way. And then the fourth element, according to Thich Nhat Hanh, is non-discrimination. This is a higher form of love. This is being so an activity of God as love that there is no differentiation. We don't say there is no othering in this non-discrimination. There is no othering. There is absolute oneness. And in that absolute oneness, then of course, there is love. When we acknowledge that we are one with and inseparable from one another, that is the vessel of love. And so I invite everyone to join in just a bit of meditation. Can we go to the second slide beyond this one? One more. Oh, let's breathe. And so let's breathe together. Let's entrain our breathing. Breathe in and feel love. Breathe out and share love. Breathe in and affirm within yourself, I am an activity of God as love. I am creative, compassionate, wholehearted. My presence as love is peace building. My presence as love calls forth peace from everyone and everything. My exhaling of love is the sharing. As I breathe out, my love envelops all in my company. And as they feel the embrace and the enveloping of love, peace is the immediate total experience. This is the easiest way I know to get to peace. To be love. It is the nature, it is our spiritual nature to be love. And when we are being love, we are peace builders, peacekeepers. We are the peace people. And so I invite you from this beautiful, dreamy space of being peace to listen to the beautiful prayer of Ada. Namaste.
Ref Trish, thank you so much. That was really beautiful. I moved right into my body. Thank you. So loves, our dear Blanca is going to bring up the video of Ada's prayer for us. And we just invite you to consider some of these things on the screen here as you move into prayer.
Muchas gracias por esta invitación. Mi nombre es Ada de Mitrópolis y dirijo la Escuela de Liderazgo Espiritual en Español. Y antes de iniciar con la meditación, les pido que visualicemos o que imiten el movimiento del infinito, del símbolo del infinito. Y los invito a que hagamos el trazado con los dedos, sabiendo cómo es esa línea que sube, que baja, pero que hay un punto de unión, un punto de encuentro. Y es allí donde los invito a que su atención se centre. Cerramos los ojos y hacemos una inhalación profunda, conectando con la paz, conectando con la quietud y la calma de este lugar de pausa. Y en este espacio sagrado dentro de ti, en el centro del infinito, sigue los movimientos mentalmente, ese lazo que fluye continuamente, pero que siempre vuelve a encontrarse en un punto de unión. Este símbolo es la representación perfecta del amor que nunca acaba, incondicional, y de la paz que fluye a través del amor. Y en este trazo del símbolo del infinito, en este dibujar, experimenta esta conexión, como en ese punto de pausa, todo converge. Allí hay un centro, es ese lugar donde todo está bien, donde tu ser se equilibra. Reconocemos que el amor crea paz y que cuando estamos unidos a esa verdad, a esa sabiduría, sentimos la paz que sobrepasa todo entendimiento, porque la paz es el reflejo del amor que habita aquí en el centro del infinito. Mantente consciente en este punto de unión, allí donde la paz y el amor son uno, allí donde tu ser, la paz y el amor son uno. Y desde este lugar siente la vibración, la energía que trae esta verdad. Siente cómo ese movimiento se expande, el movimiento del infinito, y cómo va creciendo, y cómo ese amor que fluye y esa paz que lo acompaña te llena por completo. Cubre todo tu cuerpo de bienestar. Y cómo a través del movimiento sigue su proyección tocando a todas las personas que te rodean, a tu entorno inmediato. Pero como el movimiento es eterno y la expansión es la ley, sigue abarcando más y más allá de ti, más allá de ese entorno, abarcándolo todo. Porque esa es la naturaleza del infinito. Ir y venir y encontrarse en el centro de unión. Y quiero que te quedes allí un minuto, un momento, un instante, para saber que ese es el lugar para volver siempre, para reconocer y para llenarse de esa energía, el centro del infinito. Allí donde la paz, el amor y tu ser son uno. Y ahora respira profundamente y vibra con esa paz, con ese amor. Y cuando estés lista, listo, lentamente abre tus ojos y mira todo con los ojos del amor y con el corazón de la paz. Muchas gracias.
Oh, and so it is. Ada, thank you. That was really, really beautiful. I absolutely loved it. And now we have a song from the musician Laura Berman, who is amazing in all ways. So thank you, Laura. And thank you, Blanca, for bringing it up.
Living life in a tiny square, broken pieces seem to lead nowhere. Why do I feel that my life is just pretend? Oh, my dreams stay way too small. They lead me back to where I started from. How can I move when I fear what lies ahead? Well, there's more than what I see. Each step brings me closer to free. Yeah. I realize it's inside of me. I realize there are no walls in between you and me, and this whole my choice now to leave or just give in, give in. And every morning I give thanks, amen, to all the growth I've experienced, yeah. And I've become a dream that's worth believing I am. There's more than what I see, there's more. Each step brings me closer to me. Oh, I realize it's inside of me. I realize there are no walls in between you and me and this holy word. No walls in between you and me and this holy word. Well, it's a long road, but one I choose to travel through this lifetime, and I am learning what not to do. Believe me, well, there's more than what do you see? Oh, I realize it's inside of me, yeah. I realize there are no walls in between. I realize it's inside of me. You are inside of me. I realize there are no walls in between you and me, God, and this holy word, your holy word. No walls in between. There are no walls in between you and me and this holy word. There are no walls in between you and me and this holy word. There are no walls in between you and me and this holy word. No walls in between you and me, God. No walls. There are no walls in between you and me. No walls in between you and me. And I realize now. I realize.
Oh, that was so beautiful. Thank you, Laura. And we'll put into the chat, we have been putting into the chat the info about the musicians, and we'll be sure to get Laura's info into the chat as well so that you can access these musicians on their websites and connect with them. So at this point, I am honored to turn it over to Dr. Sunny, who's going to share some words with us.
Thanks, Rebecca. I'm honored to be here today. It's been quite an event. Thank you, Laura, for that song. If you happen to look at this video later, know that it's really very powerful, powerful song. Our musicians have been incredible, and I want to leave today with a quote by a musician, which is, "When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace." And that was by Jimi Hendrix. So as we bring our time together to a close, I want to express my deepest gratitude for the insights and the dedication and the compassion that we've all shared together whether you are a participant in volunteering or reading or praying or doing the slides, whatever, simply by being here is so important, and I'm so grateful. I just want to say special thanks to all of those volunteers for the readings and the videos and the music and the live music, and a special thank you to Rebecca and Blanca for putting all of this together, and our beautiful interpreter, Maricel. Thank you for interpreting. And I would like you all to consider that, you know, today we've taken an important step towards fostering a world where peace is not just an ideal, you know, but a living reality for all of us. And by coming together in this collective consciousness with this shared vision, you know, we've reaffirmed for ourselves and in our collective efforts, no matter how small they may seem, that peace is possible. And I want us to continue to remember that, because simply by us coming together today, the ripple effect will be amazing, and it will ripple out to create real and lasting change. And we may not see it right away. You know, one of the things I often say is, I probably will not eat the fruit of the changes that are being made today and the expansion that we've set into motion through our sacred activism committee and all of those who are in that or under that umbrella. DEI, who has a seminar tomorrow, who has I think it's at noon Eastern time, but you can get the link to that call tomorrow, where they will be having different people from different religions who will be talking about what peace means to them in their religious studies and how they feel peace can be accomplished in the world. So it's a really important time to listen to some very influential people in the world and how they feel about peace. We have, you know, the Heart of Peace. We have SMSE, the Spiritually Motivated, Socially Engaged Committee, which I'm going to be reading the statement from them to end today, as well as the chair, the co-chair of that committee, Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle Coleman, who will be praying this out. But not only DEI, but Ministry of Prayer, who did this prayer-a-thon today. And global outreach, global services, and to all those people at home office who work so hard and are so dedicated to Centers for Spiritual Living. We just want to make sure that we all hold them in our hearts and know that we are all working together for a global consciousness of peace. So I guess as we move forward today, one of the things that I would ask you to carry with you is the understanding that peace is not a destination, but a continued journey, and one that I'm committed to, and I hope that we are all committed to. And every action we take, every word that we speak, holds the potential to uplift, to heal, to unite. It begins with us, so let us remain steadfast in our commitment together for fostering this place of peace through compassion and understanding. And let us all be collaborative individuals, because I know that together we're part of a movement that is much larger than ourselves. And it is this unity that I speak about, that the seeds of global peace will flourish. And we are part of that. We are planting these seeds. Don't ever forget that. So thank you all for your unwavering commitment to this important cause. And may the peace, the work that we've done today, inspire the world. And we can inspire the world to take the next steps toward a more harmonious future. Peace is possible. So let me, before Reverend Dr. Michelle, Sunshine Michelle, prays us out, let me read this statement I printed out from the from FMSD, Spiritually Motivated, Socially Engaged Committee, because it's part of the action that we've all taken here today. Dr. Holmes said that one alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority. Knowing this in your own thought, work in perfect peace and calm. And that's from Science of Mind, from the Science of Mind, page 184. In a world that often appears filled with conflict, division, and fear, let us remember our power to shape reality and foster peace on earth. As practitioners of religious science, we understand that our thoughts, beliefs, and actions influence the collective experience. When we nurture and cultivate peace within, we become conduits for peace on earth. As we nurture peace within ourselves, the vibration extends to others, our interconnectedness with all of life. Let us all choose to exude peace, love, and compassion for ourselves and for our world. In our complex world, opposing forces like violence and peace often coexist. Military actions are sometimes framed as necessary for peace. While some may experience compassion and empathy through these actions, others may not. Yet, as practitioners, we understand that beneath all appearances, there is only love. Achieving world peace requires releasing fear and anger and hatred, as these could be seen as barriers to peace. Through prayer, meditation, compassion, and sacred action, we transform these energies. By collectively envisioning a peaceful world, we harness the transformative power of our thoughts and actions. The power to create a peaceful world lies within each of us. By nurturing peace in our hearts and minds, we contribute to the transformation of our world. Together, we are shaping a peaceful and loving reality for all. There's an affirmation that goes with this reading. I am a vessel of peace. You can repeat after me if you desire. I am a vessel of peace. By fostering calm and love within myself, I inspire and contribute to a world filled with harmony and kindness for all. And if you haven't seen this reading in our CSL Connection newsletter, there's also a practice, a peace practice and exercise that you can do that I will not read today, but I encourage all of us to go back and look at that writing and perform the exercise that's at the end of the paper. And with that, with a grateful heart and so much gratitude for an organization that sees beyond what appearances may be, I bring you our beloved Reverend Dr. Sunshine Michelle Coleman to pray us. Peace be with all of us.
Thank you, Dr. Sunny. Grand Rising, everyone. What a beautiful time I know you've had today. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you the whole time, but I'm here now. And there is only one mind, one power, one presence that is everywhere present, all at once, all at once. And so as we culminate this time together, let us go within, shall we? As we yet again take that sacred breath, as I'm sure you've been invited to do throughout this prayer-a-thon for peace, we do so again in that collective breath that reminds us that there is but the one. Each of us are breathing our individual breaths in our bodies, and it's from that one breath that one power, that one presence, that one allness that is everywhere present, here, there, and everywhere. And oh, what a blessing it is to breathe this breath that reminds us to center and ground into this eternal moment right now. That reminds us to breathe into peace that extends all across this globe as if it were a yarn being thrown from one country to another, from one province to another, from one county, from one city, from one corner to another. As we breathe, as we know this peace together. And what we know from our practice is that as spirit is infused in each and every one of us, infused in this very breath, infused in its divine quality of peace, that we can behold it right now. And if we forget the next moment, we can remind ourselves in the next and come back to peace over and over and over. For as the song says, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. We can only be responsible for ourselves. We do our part, and yet we come together in beloved community as we do here across the world in Centers for Spiritual Living with intention, with purpose, with activating and actualizing peace to eradicate houselessness, to eradicate hunger, to eradicate the boiling climate that is happening here, to equalize, to balance, to harmonize, to eradicate violence, and simply bask in peace and safety and security and wellness and wholeness and joy and all of the wonderful principles and practices that we embody here in the science of mind. And in our imaginal minds, we can know that this is the truth, that it is possible. If we believe in infinite possibility, we know it's possible right this very moment together. In this moment, we know it's possible and we breathe it in and we believe it during this prayer-a-thon. And so we have planted seeds together today that keep germinating, that keep sprouting, that keep rooting, that keep growing, so that there are tall trees of peace. There are forests of peace. There are thunder showers of peace and hurricanes, if you will, and all the natural, what we might call natural weather patterns and even calamities sometimes, because they have so much power and force that they can wield destruction. Yet we flip that and imagine a whirlwind of peace that is just showering our planet. And so in the power of this imagination, in the power of this thought that we seed right now together, we bring this prayer-a-thon to a close just this moment, because we keep on in our practices. We keep on daily in our spiritual practices that continue the power and the might of this prayer-a-thon, of the intention of it, of the peace that we are actualizing in to create and make it a world that works for all. So in supreme gratitude and happiness and joy, we can do the happy dance right now, because we can embody and feel this peace together. So as we conclude this call with this happy dance, with this joy, with this pep in our step, even despite the grief and the pain and the tragedy that is happening all over, we are here to lock arms and join hands around peace and actualizing it in our world. So with this attitude of gratitude, we simply cast this word up collectively. We simply toss it up into the divine ethers, knowing that the power and the presence of that universal law, which also works in synchronicity and in partnership with us, says, yes, beloved, that's true. I agree. Let's make it so. And it stirs the pot and swirls it around and casts it off with sparkles and rainbows and showers us with blessings of peace. And that is our expectation today. So we leave this call with joyous expectancy, knowing that the good news, the great news is already made manifest right here, right now, and forevermore. Taking a breath on that sacred breath, we let it be, and we let it be well. And I invite you to declare it out loud, to join in by saying, and so it is, Ashe, Amen, Namaste, Aho, blessed be. Yes, it is. Praise God for that. Yes, and more yes.
Yes.
Whoa,
Yes, in fact-
preach. That was so, whoo, thank you. Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being stands for peace, tall trees of peace, forests of peace, whirlwind showering down of peace. Thank you for being that. And thank you for being that in the world and in yourselves. So we are so grateful. This is being recorded. This has been recorded. We will get it posted to CSL's YouTube and social medias in the coming day. Please share this with your friends and your communities. They are welcome to use this to structure a sort of prayer and peace day event if they want, or if people just want to access this on their own time, this will be available for them. We are so grateful. Thank you, Dr. Sunny. Thank you, Sacred Activism. Thank you, Blanca, who is such an important leader in CSL and such an important leader in this project. So thank you. We love you very much. Have a beautiful day. Happy International Peace Weekend is what we're going to call it. Bye, everyone.